Deutsche Bank has thoroughly reorganized and modernized its business model and is a very profitable bank. There is no reason for concern whatsoever.
No reason to be concerned. That is the message from Germany. But if that's the case, why are investors dumping shares? Is Deutsche Bank the next Credit Suisse? We try to answer that tonight. First things first, it's much healthier, this bank. Fundamentally, there is no problem with the bank. Deutsche Bank is well capitalized, meaning it has enough cash to sustain itself. So why is the share price falling? The fall in the value of the bank's stock is mainly due to investor panic. You can blame it on baggage of the past. The bank has seen major financial challenges before.
Hey guys,
Before the 2008 crisis,
you're the first one, Otto. I'm starting early. Thank you, Christian. I am. I hope you're well. I'm starting early because maybe I can end a little bit earlier tonight, but I don't have to. It's 2:30. Do you know? All right, FINRA lawsuit. Give me a little bit more on that, and I'll try to... Oh, there is no GTII tag? I wonder if I can change that. That's an oversight. That's not intentional. That's... I don't know. Yeah, Frank, the madness. I like that news network. Wow, you're pretty well connected. All right, and Twitter messages. What are Twitter messages? That's on my homepage of Twitter. No, I don't think I can go back and change that without starting over again. I just must have, when I was typing, I just forgot to put up GTII. I'm sorry. No. This is, let me just see where it's trading. This is all about GTII. 222, 223, 511,000. Hey, Bill. The madness does continue. The one that is kind of perplexing to me is he seems determined to take his stock to the lowest point possible before he implements whatever strategy he has. CRTD's at 12 cents. I don't get it, but you know, he knows what he's doing. All right, the envelope symbol. All right, I'll look for that. Oh man, oh, it was the Kite Festival. I thought it was the cherry blossoms. My sister and I went to dinner with my stepmother in Old Town, and it took over an hour to get out of DC to Alexandria. Cars everywhere. Kite Festival. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Spring is one of the best times in DC. Believe it or not, I like fall as well. The fall is very nice. Yeah, it's just bumper to bumper. All right, so they've sold off Logic a little bit, 42 to 45. That was as high as 50 cents. It's good news there, but God, they just manipulate every single stock. Every stock. Just stripping money out of the market. What do we need all these bankers for? What do we need all these financial institutions for? I'll look at GME, 23, so it held up. GTII. Okay, let me see. A lot of videos on this update. There's an article from FINRA. The SEC names MMTLP in a pump and dump scheme lawsuit. What? Wow. That's old. That's not new. I don't know who Frank Nez is, but he seems like a pretty knowledgeable guy. All of a sudden, there's no reply. There you are. I was watching this guy who I think's really good. One hour ago.
What's going on, MetaFan? In today's video, we're going to focus directly on Curtis's thread that he has on MMTLP. It's a very important thread that he has out here, and I'm going to take a video to focus on it as I touched base in the last video.
I saw this thread earlier.
Article we're going to touch base on, so let's get to it here.
Let me just go to that. I saw that article. MMTLP. Curtis. Time to take that weekend momentum. Make the calls, send the emails, and deliver the letters. A lot of these guys are working pretty hard on, very hard. Quite hard. I agree with him, and I said this on this call. FINRA's response is disingenuous and intentionally deceptive. I agree. FINRA's, that's what I read last night. 1 hour ago, FINRA said, we've modified our Investor Insights article about corporate actions, trading halts, and MMTLP. Curtis writes an hour ago, with a K, Curtis with a K, at Bleed Blue, why might you want to glaze over the registration of the shares? Perhaps because it was done illegally? Perhaps against the express written intent of the issuer? Might that be why? How many attorneys looked at this over before we picked it apart? Let me see if he has anything on the update. Oh, Richard Hoffman filed documents today. It paints the defendants as criminally corrupt And there is enough there to get a judge to take a serious look. Clyde, can I just take this call? I got to take this call. Really sorry. I guess I shouldn't have come on so early. Shouldn't have come on early. Yeah, I was on a call. Is it factory? I'm sorry. Rolling like a boss player. You're not going to have to die on your GTII. Yeah, I muted myself because I took a call for an unrelated company that I financed. Well, we'll talk about GTII. I'm sorry I left the name off. It was unintentional. Let's talk about GTII. All right. Hey, Jenny L. Yeah, I was muted, which is probably the best way to find me. I had a friend who happened to be a woman tell me once that I would do much better with women if I just didn't speak. Never forgotten that. So maybe it's better if I'm muted. See if this gives a little light. It's so dark here. Let me get the price on. I came on early partly because there's not going to be a ham call, but then I wasn't really expecting this phone call I had, so I apologize. 220 to 221. This is more criminality going on. It gets quite depressing when there's absolutely no effort to stop it. But I think the two things that are coming up are the, and I have a phone call in to get a confirmation, but the 1-800 law firm, and then Alpine is coming up. Rita wants to help me, healo me with my stress. It doesn't look dark. I can't tell. It's weird. My face looks like I'm Frankenstein. David Suctionell. That is why my girlfriend doesn't mind when I go out by myself. Because she knows eventually I will talk. I had a girlfriend. She used to get a little mad at me. I'd be out late with after work with a couple of my friends, and she'd say, "Where are you?" And I'd tell her, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I'd be a jerk, and I'd say, "Picking up chicks." And she would always she'd go, "Well, lots of luck," because she knew that it wasn't going to be happening. I could teach a university course. I don't know what I would teach. I know, cryptic. Yeah, Rita, it's not that I judge people. I drink or did drink, but I haven't had a drink in a long time. Well, for me, a long time. I don't know how to add it up, but over 3.5 years, I haven't had a drink. What the biggest thing that would stop stress? All right, hang on. This is on GTII. Hang on. Well, all right, you should be able to hear now. This gentleman, Tolstoy, Volkswagen Tolstoy, let me see his name. Volks Toy King is beginning to think that GTII is going out of business. So he doesn't give much reason why he's thinking that. He's welcome to expand upon his thinking if he'd like. I would just call to everyone's attention that GTII has been around a long, long time, many, many years. It has cash on hand, has exciting new mergers. So, oh, you're still muted. No, it's good now. Okay. So I don't agree with him, but I'm sure Tolstoy King has a good reason to feel the way he does. All right, so I just got off a call on GTII, and what I've learned, which I have to have this big broad caveat that none of this is for certain, none of it is real till it happens. It's not financial advice, and it's just the network talking, trying to suss out where we stand. But what I understand is that the 1-800 deal is on time or thereabouts, right? So that's good. I think that would put a floor on the stock. It would convince people that finally things they say are happening, and maybe it would convince Tolstoy King that the company's not going out of business. The second thing is I hesitate to bring it up because I've been mentioning it for many months now, but I just heard that the Trento mine deal is very much alive. What does that mean? I heard that in August. So don't kaput. So the Trento mine deal for Tolstoy King would be huge, and it would mean just a quantum leap in valuation for GTII if it were to go through. And there might be some serious buying would come in. The other thing, this guy Richard on Twitter has put out that there's major lawsuit news on GTII. He didn't announce it, but it's that Wes, what I understand it could be, is Wes has major news, and which might be that they're starting to name names. That's the speculation of what it could be. A quantifiable understanding either of the short position, how big it is, or some of the infractions by the market makers. So it could be really big, and the guy I was talking to pointed out that we filed our lawsuit before MMTLP, which doesn't matter to me because I think we're all on the same side. Is my audio, by the way, WallDP, I'm switching services. I went in on Saturday, spent some time, and it's meant to happen. The date scheduled is Thursday, but they're sending me a kit that I can self-install, which I might get today or tomorrow. To the extent I can self-install, everything might happen much sooner. Otherwise, it'll be Thursday. But I'm going to the gold standard, apparently, and it's going to there won't be any more glitches. But I am switching services because this little part of town has a different service provider that's numero uno from where I was, so I'm switching. So Thursday at the latest. Pete Tong, that's better news than anything else. Well, Mexican silverback, I'm not stealing from my neighbor, but it is a little bit jury rigged in the sense that it's not the best provider in this area. I don't know the new ticker to watch. The reason I'm not gonna say my service yet is I don't want anybody watching to interfere, send me texts and all that, because I won't answer them. I don't know what's up with Logic. Let me look. There's a lot of good stuff, but I don't think people want to talk. I don't think people want me to talk about Logic. But I'll tell you, I have an update on that. Let me see where it's. All right, we're 223, 224. Logic is 74,000 shares. I assume it's still that one gentleman with stock for sale, but it's also these manipulators out of Canada who apparently their goal is different than just short selling, but they short it, trade it, and then they strip mine pennies and nickels and dimes out of the stock. But they're indifferent where the price is, so I would expect this to rally back upward. But where they can create volume is to short it, get you to sell, and then they're happy as pigs in shite. But anyway, let me tell you, I do have an update on Logic. I mean, it's not massive compared to what you learned on the call with Brent, but there was an order on Logic on the Neo Friday at the end of the day at 29 cents. So they're just, they're playing games, but it's only 2,000 shares. Logic in the near term, when they do this SPAC, should be worth $1.50 to $1.60 a share for Logic, which will be Data Logic. So that's confusing, I know. This guy's calling. I'm not going to take his call because I've already interrupted you twice. Let me just tell him I'm going to bye-bye. All right, so the SPAC probably isn't going to get... It's the third... Here, let me just read, make sure I'm quoting it properly. The S4, the SEC had comments, and I believe it's the... They had two sets of questions, and now they're the only thing left. They've answered those. The only thing left is an audit of the SPAC's numbers for 2022. The only reason for that, they expected approval in 2022 from the SEC. Now it's 2023, so they have to get that. Everything's on schedule. There could be news quickly on the S4, but likely it's going to take however long the SEC takes, and then you have 10 or 15 days after that. So you have to get a vote done, which should be pretty quick, maybe within 5 days. And then you have 10 calendar days to create the record date. So we're March, will be April. If you say the SEC is going to take another 2 weeks, that's 10 or 15 days after that. We're going to be into May before it's finalized. But don't lose hope. There are 2 or 3 acquisitions which might occur in Logic or be announced prior to the SPAC approval. There's also the news of the SPAC. It can be teased out sooner. The stock price can rally. I think it could go to 80 cents, $1, $1.20, with any kind of positive indication that the SPAC is moving forward. There's so much doubt out there on everything. SEC's against us, FINRA's against us. Everything's a lie. Well, once it's approved, I think you'll see a nice sharp rally in Logic stock. And the shell, when Logic becomes part of the SPAC, Aubrey SPAC, what the SPAC is really buying is Digital Logic. So the shell sort of for a minute sits out there, and that could be worth 75 cents, $1 a share itself, because the deal, PRIVE, the company they did announce, they've passed on that because Brent has better transactions. And so I assume that deal was worth 50 cents a share. I assume if it's better than 50 cents a share. So that's 75, $1 maybe. So that you've got $2.40 probably, maybe $2.60 in value from these prices that will come to the shares over the next few weeks, next 2 or 3 months. And it's a fairly, I'm going to tell this guy I can't talk to him right now either. Because I've already taken 2 calls. It's rude. So I don't know why they're selling Logic down today, but I would say it's an opportunity to buy. And I'll leave it at that because people didn't want me to spend a lot of time on Logic. So GTII is, sorry, it's slow. Yes, Tony Bones, I got a lot of both myself. Well, for me, I don't know what you mean by a lot. For me, I don't know if it measures up. GTII is 223 to 224. It's down a penny. They're just fighting every single penny. It shows weakness. Naikun Haria, hoping for it to squeeze. I think it will. GTII, that's good news, isn't it? Yeah, the volume today is pretty low, 578. 5 figures. I'm going to put this here. You know why I'm putting this here? Probably won't work. I'm putting it here so I can read your messages more easily. It may not work. It's a strategy that will not work. It's all right, I can read them. It's just that's white and that's gray. It's a little hard. How could I do it? Oh, I know what I could do. I could do it this way. Maybe that'll do it. Yeah, there. Now I can read them. I have averaged up since 141 MMT. I want to see the squeeze we didn't get. Yeah, Dan Gondoli. I'm supposed to talk about the lawsuit update, I guess, but what I saw as an update is Richard H. is filing something today. I'm really concerned that if they open this up for trading, that they make sure that if for some reason you don't sell your shares in the days that are trading, value of being worth what was promised to us. Why do I say that? That's what gives the incentive to the shorts to cover and the system to cover. So I'm hopeful on that. Hey Jennifer, how are you? I saw a couple of your tweets. I don't read, there's so many, but I saw one where you emphasized point was we're all working together. Let's stick together. And I agree with that. Susan, if I put a sock on it, how will you... Barbara L., I lucked out as a newbie onto the Masters rerun, then debating it. Time will tell. Volk's Toy King. That's what it is. Volk's Toy King. Volk's Toy King. I guess it's Volk's Toy King. Yeah, I think Mark Maddox, the guy I spoke with at length this morning, believes there is a possibility for a squeeze in LGIQ, but I'm not presenting it that way. If there's a squeeze, I think you're talking about a nice move. Maybe it goes to 10, 15, 20 in a squeeze 25, but I'm not presenting it like a massive squeeze. But that would be great if it happened. Wes has a Twitter. Hey, Steven Rosenberg, MacGyver. Wes has a Twitter, I think, but it might be his law firm. Yeah, Volk's Toy King, I think it would be a nice trade. I don't know what your target is to get out, but obviously $50, that's 50 grand. It's nice. Oh, you owned a Golf? I had a Scirocco, which my understanding is the Golf basically, I never owned a Golf, but the engine might have been the same. Anyway, I loved that. Oh, you were born in Walter Reed. Wow. All right. I'll tell you. I'll just repeat myself. All right, Jennifer. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, I need all the help I can get, I guess. I'm no good. I don't seem to be any good anymore at it. Well, Tom M., I'll talk about Schwab. What I miss about my Scirocco was the gears were great, and it could hug. I swear it could hug any curve like and it was just. Oh, you had a Ford LTD. The Scirocco is amazing. Amazing car. And the smell was great, and the music was great. Yeah. U-turn's going 50. I would be scared at 50, but I don't know what Volkswagen's like now, but 90,000. This trading is all fake. It's all malarkey, to quote your president who got 81 million. It's just fake. Skydog, my Scirocco, when I bought it, was the first I ever bought. drove that car other than other than looking the other way. Oh, Schwab tanking. I do want to quickly. I can't wait till our justice system brings illegal naked shortage to just as it brought my crooked enemy in South Carolina, Alex Murdaugh, to justice earlier this month. That would be awesome. I forgot you're in South Carolina. But anyway, GTII. The two things that could happen. Apparently, the 1-800 deal is still, it's on time. I know you've been hearing that. But that was press released as April 1. Well, that's what? Is that Saturday? So maybe the 3rd or 4th or 5th, we might see something. Secondly, the Treno, that's pretty cool. If Schwab were to go down, somebody, maybe I don't know, Bank of America or J.P. Morgan. Morgan Stanley already owns E-Trade. If it were to go down, just like these other banks, I think it's a positive. I mean, I don't know how Alpine's still standing. I don't know how the criminals are still able to sell stock in GTII. But if there were a huge shock to the system like that, I think there would be buy-ins as they cleaned up the books, and people would be looking at the books. So purely a guess, but I think some GTII is now up a penny at 224. 223 to 224. And I don't know if we're still talking to each other because no one's getting mad at me. Started floating. Uh-oh. Maybe. Oh, I love the bugs. I love the bugs. Okay, so I'm in and out. So all I can tell you, hey, Jenny, all I can tell you, my dad used to have a VW bug. My sister bought one. She let me drive it with friends to the and I didn't. I said, "Oh, sure, I know how to drive." Of course, I didn't. So I got stuck in an intersection without being able to change gears. But I loved the VWs. Those bugs were great to drive. I know I'm cutting out bad. I'm sorry. This will be fixed by Thursday. Wow. Steven Rosenberg. So the Murdaugh family was making money this way too? Yes, I can drive a manual shift car. I liked the VW buses too. Wow, that's cool. He was driving around Vietnam in a VW bug. That's pretty cool. Big Orange, the news I heard is, well, it's the Scirocco is a desert wind. Yeah, the Ford Maverick was, ugh. But my brother owned one. in a lovely green. Oh, he's in the drug business. You know, Stephen, it seems like if you make money and can hire attorneys and you can donate to particularly one party, you can just do all the criminal stuff you want. Yeah, Jenny, that's right. I love driving a stick shift. I owned a Triumph and a Fiat Spider. Those were the days. Then I had a BMW, which didn't have, I missed the shift. No, I didn't see the Dragonfly. Is that the horse that Faulty bet on in Faulty Towers? Dragonfly. Wow, Harley Davidson. I'm a gentleman. I can drive a manual vehicle. Mine was racing car green. I liked that car, but it did have a flaw. when I put the rag top up, and it rained, the rain would collect and it would come right down and hit my left knee. So if I was wearing a suit, which I actually, that's why I bought my Scirocco. That's a long time ago. 222 to 224, 954 to 5140. God, it's no volume, 620,000. So anyway, on GTII, I don't know if you heard it, but I think the 1-800-LAW, the FBI continues to go after the crook who stiffed Pac West. The pending, I don't know what to call it, action by FINRA against Alpine is going to heat up as soon as the judge rules against the legal tricks, in my judgment. That could be next week, but it could take longer. And then Wes has big news, according to Twitter. Wes has big news on the lawsuit for GTII, so don't give up. It looks like we paused again, but that's all right. I might, once we get to 4 o'clock, I might call it early today, just because I've got 2 or 3 other things I've got to do. And I look forward to upgrading my service and paying for my service. I know, Jennifer, that would be great. Ham is traveling, so I guess I have to fill in my own inadequate way. Yeah, Steve Mertz, I think GTII in our stable of ill-bred horses, but they could be the next. They could be the next California Chrome. GTII looks like the one that's ready to go. Did the price go up for my service? Well, actually, I mean, I'll be paying more because I'm changing, but I'll be maintaining my one serve anyway. It's going to cost me more money, yes. Yeah, I think we're getting really close, and we'll see how it closes today. It went as high as 235. In my opinion, They don't want it to break the 230 range, close above 230, because I think that would be somewhere around that would be a breakout in the short run. But it has a channel, and we're already through that. I think the next significant number is 455, 550 range. I'm giving you a wide range because art the way I do it, but it's somewhere around there. So I bet we close in the green today, and I bet we close closer to 230 than to 220. That's not much of a bet. So 223, 224. Would they already start covering since the lawsuit is in action? I don't know, Ahmed. I think they need to be shown that we mean talk to Wes, but we need to be shown that we mean business, because there are attorneys out there that will settle with the criminals, and all you need to look at is a stock like HPIL. The attorney in that case settled with the Kramers amicably, and of course the attorney got paid. He gets to check on short sellers, but the fact is it helped Kurt Kramer, because all Kurt Kramer had to do was give up his contract with HPIL, give back the warrants, and everyone settled with smiles. And the massive amount of criminal counterfeiting that Kurt Kramer did, in my judgment, in HPIL remained open. And if you 0.0000000, there's no bid, and so he keeps the money, doesn't pay taxes. Win-win-win for the criminals, as far as I can zip. But a lot of crowing about how successful it is to get a settlement in these situations. I think it works to the advantage of the short sellers. Yeah, I kept adding, and then I reached my maximum. Well, Big Orange, I think Alpine is going to fold before yeah, that's right, Scott. I think, all right, Dave is bold, 242 close. Let's see where it is. Starting, no volume though. I think FINRA wants to expel Alpine, and I think this gamemanship, my interpretation of the attorney resigning, isn't as complicated as everyone else's. I think it's just gamemanship, so that Alpine can go before the judge and say, "Hey, we need an attorney," and then the next thing you know, it's another 90-day delay. I don't think it's going to work, though. I don't know how they're still able to do it. I just think the whole system has been greased. SEC does not care about OTC at all. And there's a view that if you invest in over-counter stocks, you deserve what's coming to you. What is the VWAP one fix-it, man? Hey, Ruff. Wow, I had a friend that owned a Pontiac GTO. Nice car. Nice engine. Oh. Next time I'll dial down the resolution, Pete Tong. But I'm gonna have will I thank my neighbors when I start paying my own internet? I don't suck off my neighbors. 224 up a penny, 626. Oh gosh. I can't take this call while we're talking, but I might have to. I know that's exactly right, Pete Tong. That's a good point. I don't know how to change the resolution, but yes, I will look into that. And who would want to watch me on an 80-inch flat screen? My schnoz would be the feature. Yeah, exactly, Jenny. They look down on it, but it's their milk cow. No, it's regarding my mother, and I'm gonna have to do it after I hang up. TD will not allow GTC or well, Steve, I think you were saying that if you put in a if then order, if it hits 25, then I don't know, Jenny. Don't know. She's actually out in California. Yeah, you have to set a condition. What's the song about the condition I'm in? Oh, Lordy, I hope you never meet my mother. I'm so mad at my mother. The other day, she called me up and asked me to carry her weights to the attic. That was something like that Steve Martin used to say. All right, 224, 630,000, so it's barely traded at all. 223, 224. Have you ever listened to the words to Coward of the County? It's a pretty brutal song. Big Orange, I'll be honest with our group. I don't know if we hit 500, how much longer I'll be able to hold. Well, that might happen a lot lower than that price too, Big Orange, because it's not money until you sell. It's not money until you sell. Well, I'm just carrying on a family tradition. I just stopped by to see what condition my condition is in. Oh, Hank, why do you roll dope? No volume, guys. It's 356. Well, there may be a lot of people selling at 5 or 10 or whatever, but I don't think it's gonna, once the buying happens, if it's a buy-in, I don't think it'll change anything. 223, 224. The dude abides. That's good. He's a pretty good actor. I did watch that movie, Steve. I think you told me. I watched Deepwater Horizon, and it had Jeff Bridges in it. It was a good movie. Yeah, I think what Jenny, what I just heard on that phone call, and it's on Twitter, is that there's something coming from Wes. BWUSAF, another week in nada, thinking this might take a year at this point. It could. I've been in it for over 2 years. I don't think it will, and I don't personally think most of the people involved are going to wait another year. So if Kurt Kramer can hold it out for a year, I guess he'll win probably. And good on him. I mean, he's such a good guy. Yeah, Big Orange makes the only point that matters. They're going to keep selling till someone takes their machines away, because they're going to stiff the system anyway. Why not just keep rolling the dice until someone comes and takes them away? Yeah, I did, Pete Tong, see Terry Yonker's calculation. I didn't know it was his. I thought it was somebody else's. But I did see it. 500,000 shares per minute for 2 days to cover. And that was an amazing analysis. It depends on the parameters when they set up the trading. So that's what. Well, that's right. BW U.S. Air Force. I agree with you. As soon as we get something, they just keep selling and they keep selling, and in fact, BW back in I'd say around now, maybe beginning of the summer, 2 years ago, I remember vividly one of the Kramers came on and taunted us and said, it doesn't matter how many shares you buy, we'll just keep selling. And they certainly have done that, because they have an attorney who I think's moral compass is screwed up, but that, I guess you can say that about a lot of attorneys. Their moral compass is screwed up, and they got regulators that just don't care. Well, that's right, Buck Thanar. I don't know. Ham tells me he doesn't think it's computers, it's human beings trading. But I think Alpine, all right, we're closing, and it closed. It's really weird. It shows up 9 cents, which doesn't make any sense to me, because it closed at 223.5. But I wonder why. Oh, maybe it's up 9 cents in the after hours. I don't know. Anyway, it closed at 223 Friday, so now it's 223.5. The volume was 652,000. So the entire time we've been on the phone, I think it's been 30,000 shares traded. It's so manipulated. Yeah, finger looks good. Yeah. Oh, they are taunting you on stock twits. They're just jerks. All right. What did? No, I don't think we're going to have to wait a year. I think GTI is going to go very soon, but. It has been a while. $24 the money. GTI has an incredibly low book value. Are you buying this $24 the money for its book value? Yeah, I don't. I've never represented from my standpoint that this is a value play. But yeah, if it's got a book value of 3 cents, the stock should probably trade at a penny, and I guess, or 2 cents before you buy it. So I don't think it's smart. It's not a smart buy for you, I don't think. If you're a value investor, I wouldn't buy GTII. It's all spoofing and wash trading. So I don't know, 24 the money. I would suggest other companies out there. If you want a book value play that I've talked about, I would say Lodge. A number of the energy companies out there or commodities companies have good book value. I would recommend those, but GTII is not a book value play. I like that Buck Thanar. The diamonds Kurt got for his Mr. 225. They arrested some guy in some Canadian guy who was doing crypto and stealing money, and they arrested. I want to say Yugoslavia. They arrested him. So the Kramers better be careful where they go live. I like that, Jenny. 4,000. Oh, ESX. I was being selfish, self-centered, greedy, unimaginative, unskilled, thieves, crooks. If there are various rungs in society, they belong on the lowest of the lowest rungs. So I have nothing good to say about Kurt Kramer, Seth Kramer, their wives, their children, their parents that raised them. I think the Kramers are bad blood. I'll be careful because people might misunderstand me when I'm being sarcastic. So they'll probably be in a country that won't. Well, I have a feeling they'll go to Israel because it's a comfortable place to live. But maybe Venezuela, or I don't know. I can't imagine they'd go to North Korea. No, we don't have to wait till Ham comes back because one fix it. We don't have to wait till Ham comes back. Company. No, M. Casey, I don't know what way we can stop Canada. They're even worse than our country in terms of shorting and stock manipulation. All right, I'm just going to go to 4:15 today because I have to call in about my mother and I have 3 other calls I have to make. And I can't wait till the box comes. If I can self-install the kit, tomorrow we'll have sheer brilliance instead of all this trouble. Hey, Ann Lacomber. Great name. It's such a familiar name. What are my thoughts on the trading? On which one it looks like everything closed about flat, but on GTII it closed flat, 223. My view sold. There was some buying, obviously, to match off with their counterfeit shares, but I think it's all fake trading. And I think it's a positive closing it. They don't want to close the gap, which I think may already have been closed. But I certainly think once they've closed that resistance and we're on a hold up at this point, 77 cents, $2 was a breaking point. I don't know how they're standing, but they are. Absolutely. I don't think Judgment Day is 329, Reagan, because I remember seeing a release that said April 3rd. So I'm not 100. I saw the one for 329, but I'm not 100% sure. It hasn't been delayed a little bit. So in my head, I'm looking. I think that's right if they just let it run, but who puts their gun in the mouth and pulls the trigger? Thank you, Matthew Parker. Thank you, Ann Lacomber. MAT, they're just crushing it. They want to break your heart. They also want... Hey, Cat Zone. I'm a minute. Well, 5 minutes. Bank crisis remedy threatens to put more pressure on the dollar. The everything bubble and global bankruptcy. Not a pretty picture. All right, 411. It's not good. I don't know if I can even make it to that time. Let's... I know. People, the regulators protect the crooks. That's why we force the issue without these scumbags. Yvonne Huber. Fork filed to get this trading. Number 2, how can you not settle all trades and force the issue? Disgrace. FINRA's bullshit statement to MMTL. I don't know if I did it on this or on a space call. It's just nonsensical. Short positions to be closed or extinguish any obligations associated with the outstanding short positions. Oh, the plane's delayed for an hour. Well, 1 hour ago from him, Wes has been rumored to give updates. Who will they give up? Richard at Ding Dong Bang. Richard's rumor time. Hearing rumor that a big update coming on the legal front from Wes. That's Richard at Ding Dong Bang. DHING, Dong Bang. 1 hour ago, Ham wrote, GTII still washing trades. And then 4 hours ago, he said, see you April 10th. Good luck. And he left me, Avid, Ace, Dirty Mayo, Christian Shaughnessy twice. So, all right. Bye, Susan. Thank you. All right. God, I can't read my, yeah, it's 4:15. I'm going to close early because I have to call California for my mother. And what is for April 10? I don't know anything for April 10. I don't know any significance for April 10th. Can't think of a single thing. April 10. I can't think of anything. It's Easter Sunday's the 9th. I don't know what the 10th is. Sean Black tried to give some pointers to Logic CEO. Herman Hartner, I'd love to hear about that. I'd love to do it tomorrow because I'm afraid if I miss them, then it's one more day and there's urgency. So, begging your pardon, I'm going to get off the phone early. We'll see you tomorrow. Blessings to everybody. Ciao.